Hey folks, I'm flying out tomorrow to Atlanta to begin what will be the start of my Appalachian Trail hike, and I wanted to just do a brief rundown in this video of my plans for photography and videography on the trail. And so to answer that question really quickly, basically these guys, I've got the DJI Pocket Osmo 3 over here, and I've got my iPhone 16e. It's the budget iPhone, but it has a 48 megapixel camera. So I'll be going over the pluses and minuses of these. I want to go through a little bit of the equipment stuff, and then a little bit of the storage plan, the data storage plan, and then a little bit at the end of the video. I want to do A/B comparison of what it would take to actually take a DSLR equivalent camera instead, and then also compare like iPhone's native camera app versus the app I plan to use, which is called No Fusion, to avoid some of the over processing look. But yeah, let me set this down. So yeah, basically iPhone over here. I'll be going through some A/B comparisons later in the video. And DJI is awesome. So like this is the guy I'm going to be using for video, basically for what I'm going to start with it's going to be daily vlogging, or at least an attempt to daily vlog. And but yeah, I think this is a pretty compact little gadget. It has a really nice sensor that lets in a lot of light. So I've been really happy with this. I've taken it on some trips. It's a fun little gadget, and it's got I got the what's called like the creator combo. So it's got, which is like the the lav mic down here, which I'm recording on, and it's also, oh, let me see, let's see. Oh yeah. So it's also got the case here. So this is like an essential to protect it, when you stow it away. It also has like a wide angle lens that it sort of magnetically snaps on. Don't really use that much, but I might play around with it. Um, and then some things that I thought hard about taking. So these things unscrew. There are two things. One on the top is an extra little battery pack, and then the thing on the bottom is a tripod. Unfortunately, you can't use the tripod. You can't screw it on directly onto this, which is kind of a thing that annoys me. So you're forced to bring this extra battery pack, which does connect. So they all kind of go in line like that. I won't snap it together at the moment, but yeah, you get the idea. But yeah, I think the tripod will be pretty nice to have set up in a lot of places. Extra battery pack, don't really need that, but I mean, I'm going to be bringing some backup battery, basically. These Nitecore, I'm going to bring two of these. So this should be plenty enough. This is 1,000 milliamp hours. So bringing two of these guys. I do like the brand Anker, but these are waterproofed and they're a bit lighter. So I'm going to give them a try. Although I've heard Anker holds the charge better, but we'll give it a try, see what happens. But yeah, that's it for that. And then my plan for storage, let me just set this guy down here. My plan is basically, let me set this down. Okay. Okay. So basically, this DJI records to micro SD cards. So it's got one in there, and then I have three extras, which are 512 gigabyte. And then I'm going to try to be good about this, but there is a way to create different folder names. Although at the start of each day, you have to sort of increment. So you don't have a lot of options or flexibility there, but I think my naming format will be something like D001 for like day one. And then the next day, if I remember, I'll increment that to 2. That'll be kind of annoying, but that is a way to do some sort of folder management. So because I don't want it to be like at the end of 30 days, like, oh, I connect to the drive and there's just a list of 500 video files and I try to find the one for the day I'm interested in. I assume that, yeah, I'm going to get frustrated with that. So I need to have some storage. But yeah, basically, I'm going to be carrying these the whole time, and I'm not sure if I'm going to fill them up. If I do, I might, if I decide to go home or take a break or whatnot, I might offload to a computer, or I might just buy another one and have it shipped to me. So I'm not sure what to do. Yeah, but I'll see when we get there. It might be plenty of space. I've compared it to some other hiking videos on YouTube, and it seems like this should be enough to at least get me get me a large part of the way. There's also this little thumb adapter. This is USB-C, so micro SD to USB-C adapter that I got kind of at the last minute because I was starting to test out the process of taking a video with the DJI, transferring it to my phone, or plugging the USB in, or transferring via Bluetooth, and then both of those options are kind of slow, and both of them use the battery of the DJI as you're transferring. So that's not going to be great for like on the go, another thing to keep charged or that will drain just to transfer. Basically, so I could pop out the SD card now, put it in this little gadget, and then plug this directly into my iPhone 16e. And then import them. So there will still be a somewhat of a slow import process, but this uses no battery. So that's an improvement. And it's surprisingly, it has a little bit of weight to it, but you know, every ounce counts, right? So, but I think I'll be happy adding that little weight just to get that. But yeah, and then yeah, that basically my plan to if I start this is to record, you know, every day and then see where it goes from there. Try to upload when I get on Wi-Fi, and then you know, schedule out things a few days in advance so things will get posted, you know, as I'm already on the trail. Stagger them out so you don't have to, oh, there's 3 new videos posted, you know, there you don't get barrage. And I'm hoping I can do this on hotel Wi-Fi and or cellular, which will be kind of iffy. But I have seen other people upload, you know, equivalent quality, you know, 4K clips and whatnot, daily vlog style. So I know it must be possible, but I know it is somewhat frustrating to wait for the uploads a lot of the time. So I'll see where I'll go with that, but that is my plan for that. But yeah, no plans at this time for any cloud storage or whatnot. But other than just, you know, I'm going to edit the videos on my phone basically after I import them on that card I just showed you, and then you know, upload it to YouTube when I can. Schedule it out, you know, at least a week in advance or so. So we'll see how that works. All right. Well, sorry for the abrupt transition there, but I wanted to go right into comparison. Like, why didn't I take my Canon DSLR, you know, equivalent, which is R5? Technically not a DSLR, right? It's mirrorless, but it has the form factor of what we traditionally think of as DSLR, which is to be said, like, you know, in short, like a big honking, you know, weatherproof, weather sealed thing, durable thing, but very heavy, right? It's a few pounds or so, and you know, folks can take that and they can harness it to their chest strap and whatnot. Like that's not unheard of, but for various factors, I think weight being the biggest one, also humidity being constant humidity being another thing. I just didn't want to really deal with that, and keeping those batteries charged and whatnot, which I have to do anyway with the DJI. But you know, just the form factor and the bulkiness, the amount of space it takes up. Yeah, and I'd be worried that it would be trashed in the constant humidity and rain of the Appalachian Trail. You know, those things are weather sealed, right? But you know, like assuming that you spend a few hours out in the field and then bring it back indoors and take care of it, and you know, take care of it and then clean it off, dry it off and whatnot. You don't really get an opportunity to do that a lot in the AT. So but yeah, weight and climate, basically I'm scared of those things. I want to have a camera to come back to, look forward to using when I'm done with the trail. But anyway, yeah, what you see here is a comparison that I did earlier today. Pardon me for the laziness. I mean, my car is right down there in the video, but like this is just shot off of the deck, my patio, my apartment. I am leaving tomorrow, so kind of scrambling today for last minute things. But I wanted to do a comparison. Most of these are taken with my R5 with various lenses. So this one is a really cool lens that I've gotten fairly recently that's a pretty wide angle. It goes out to 14 millimeter. And you can see that like it's pretty wide here. We're going to be zooming in to this part here, which you'll be able to see in way better detail when we go along. But yeah, I wanted to give a difference. I mean, this is a cool thing you get with the, you know, the R5, you know, or any of these DSLR type cameras is the interchangeable lenses, right? It's like, well, you know, I don't want to shoot wide angle today. Well, that's actually a 14 to 35. So this is the extent of the zoom of that one lens. But you can see, yeah, okay, if you zoom in, you get a little more details. But it's 35 is still pretty wide, right? These are all unprocessed, by the way. I mean, I just imported them in RAW. And there's a little bit of blur, maybe the motion blur. Not the best shots, but you get the idea. It's just for rough comparisons. Um, the next one is 15 millimeter lens, which is a prime lens. One of my favorite ones, just because like it's so beautiful for portraits and whatnot. And again, like I don't think I'll be taking a lot of portraits when I'm hiking, so I don't think I'll be missing out on that. But this one is, the bokeh. Bokeh is really the out of focus, blurry background to in order to focus on your subject. It's a little stylistic choice. I'm not going to really have the option to do that much, although you get some slight bokeh with the DJI when you put it in portrait mode. This lens is beautiful for that, but oh well, and you get an idea of how zoomed in it is with the 15 millimeter. As you can see, like we're bringing out more details in this boring, uninteresting, subject. But just for proof of concept, bear with me here. I thought this was also actually kind of fortuitous because like there's dark areas of the photo so you can see some of the dynamic range and also sort of the bright sky. But anyway, back to so now we're at so that was 15 millimeter, right? And then I jumped to the 70 millimeter. So this is a beautiful lens too. 70 to 200 is like a nice standard lens. This one is a huge lens, though. I would not take this hiking because it's actually heavier than the body of the camera itself. But this is a beautiful lens, and you can see the extent of that zoom. That's 200 millimeter. So now we're getting really far in here. Now we can see a lot of details down in here. And oh, you know what? I just realized now why these are a little blurry because I turned this stabilizer off. I was shooting on a tripod and I forgot to switch this back. Actually, for this lens anyway. But anyway, I think this also 200. Okay, and then this is the biggest lens I have, which is a somewhat cheap, 600 millimeter. But you can see like, okay, well, you get a lot of zoom out of that. This one surprisingly is quite a light lens. It's not, if you bought a nice 600 millimeter, it would not be this light. But this one is a nice lens. It would be something that would not be out of the question to hike with. But I mean, your options are limited at this point to like birds, basically, or things far in the distance. But you get the idea here, and I think these are the same. I just took a few safety shots, but you can see the whole range basically. We started here with 14 millimeter, tried to zoom into where we're gonna go here. It's kind of just pixelated, but you could see that we made progress. So that's the nice thing about those interchangeable lenses that you could say like, oh, I want to zoom into the distance. There are some parts of the trail where you do want to see in the distance, right? It's like you want to have binoculars and whatnot. So that is kind of a nice thing. And then, but yeah, and the dynamic range is nice to capture all the detail. You can see it's just like it just looks nice. Like you could see the noise pattern in the sky. Like this is how I expect it to be before I start working on the photo. And then later on you can add your own. There's all these dials here for sharpening and noise reduction. Like I want to have these controls later on to work with so I can put my personal touch and my style on it. That is the downside when you're so my primary camera is going to be my iPhone, and iPhone right out of the gate looks like oversaturated. This is what iPhone does that by default. So like that same shot, the same perspective, you can see the focal length is wide, right? It's not going to be a telephoto. I don't have the fancier iPhone cameras. And there's just like super saturation, some over sharpening, some really aggressive like compression artifacts in here that look like JPEG compression that it's already done to the shot that just came out of the camera. So like, I mean, it's workable. Like you can take it and tweak it and do stuff with it, but like you already lost a lot of information through the compression and through the all the stuff that it. So it turns out iPhone uses a technology called Fusion. It has its Fusion camera, which is really like hardware and software, the combination of the two. But software adds a lot of stuff on. You can see like there is no like noise pattern like I was expecting to see in the sky. Some weird, just janky looking stuff here that looks just over compressed, like noise reduction, or it's weird. It just, I mean, it doesn't look like the what I'd want to start with my DSLR, which is more like, natural looking. This is blurry. Obviously, I messed up on that. But even 14 millimeter, like it just looks more natural. Like, so that's unfortunate. But there is a thing to get around it. There's apps out there that allow you to take a negative, and there's an app that I subscribe to now called No Fusion. Um, No Fusion, you could still see that the colors seem like way, right out of the gate, a little more oversaturated, but less so, right? But No Fusion also ends up with a larger file size, so I have more confidence that there's more information here to work with. But you can kind of see there's still some, like, it looks like there's still some artifacts and whatnot, but hopefully less so. But less stuff like out of the gate, or like more freedom to work with this post processing. So I'm hoping that this is going to be a good option for me. But yeah, the file sizes are noticeable. You can see, it doesn't actually tell you in here. Let me see if I can go into the Finder. Yeah, so this one's 42 megabytes, and then this one straight off of the iPhone camera app is is 14 megabytes. So I just have more faith that there's more information captured here, that I could do more with it. Like, I mean, my first pass in Lightroom is to hit auto, which is kind of, oh, yeah, there well, see, auto kind of messes it up. Already, like, oh, it's oversaturated. So maybe I wouldn't want to do that. But I have faith that there's dynamic range here, and there's details to pull out. But that's not bad. That has a lot of details in that little spout that we were looking at before. But yeah, I'm hoping this works. You can see the darks. There's going to be a lot of this. There's going to be a lot of shots with their sky and a lot of shadows and whatnot. So I'm hoping this works for me. But yeah, obviously, like, this is nicer. I'm not going to be taking my DSLR, so not this time around. So, but yeah, we'll see how it works. Um, yeah. Anyway, so that's a quick comparison. So yeah, that was a quick video of that's the gadgets I'm using for video and photos, for storage, and then for processing. A little A/B comparison at the bonus at the end there. So, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you tune in next time. All right, thanks. Bye.